I was an addict and alcoholic at 12 years old.
I grew up into poverty.
This signifies a couch, because I slept on a lot of those.
I was a small kid, which makes you an easy target for the big kids.
I was bullied as well.
I was in foster care for the majority of my childhood. I moved a lot.
You'll notice little schools as I show. I've had many.
How many in total?
Almost one for every grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
My family life was really, really strong.
Growing up, I actually was very introverted and very shy.
When I was about 12 years old, I started to realize I was gay.
And I was seeking that connectivity, and so I found it in the wrong places.
And so with no self-discipline, no self-respect, all fun, there was no focus on school. I hid behind clothes, long hair, really managed to get myself in a lot of trouble.
I had some challenges, as many young kids do, in terms of fitting into the mold.
So it was never enough. Not Canadian enough, not cool enough, not pretty enough.
For me, school never felt like I could be myself. I've always lived with learning disabilities and they were never identified.
There was many times I would have to go to school worrying about things that weren't going to be part of the school curriculum. Poverty, alcoholism.
I was always by myself and out in the streets with my friends, and school was just not part of my life.
I never was me. I was invisible the entire time.
Didn't have much confidence in high school, which is hard to believe if you knew me now. My English teacher, Mr. Roche, said, come sign up for theater class. I just had a special feeling that this was meant to be.
I think my grade 4 teacher really made a difference in my life. She could really reach out. My attitude towards school changed dramatically after that.
I really enjoyed school and I could see the fruit that school was giving.
I was in charge of the recycling program in grade 5. Given certain opportunities within school, I was kind of able to, I guess, shine.
I remember this one boy, he would say, don't touch my desk. Your brown skin's gonna come off on me. Miss Sampson saw it and she challenged it.
I didn't know English, so I was put into an ESL class. If it wasn't for the teachers there, honestly, I don't know where I would be today.
My first school was River Elm. Mr. Chan made us do this reading challenge all year. I would bring home like piles and piles of books, and I would escape through reading.
When I think about things that will cause students to drop out of school, one is poverty.
I'd say the biggest impact was not being able to have breakfast in the morning. It really affected my school life.
We talk about having breakfast programs for kids and ensuring that they're able to come to school and actually focus.
I ended up dropping out, and I fell into a spiral of addiction.
I saw a lot of people my age when I was in school who aren't alive right now because of suicide or because of disease. For me, public education is a chance for us to have a really healthy group of adults one day.
Highlight, I think, for me was flying to Montreal to do the Just for Laughs festival. I remember, like, how did I get here? Going back to Mr. Roche. I don't think I'd be where I'm at if it wasn't for this part of the circle.
I think it's just a couple people you meet in your life during your educational process that really changes direction for you.
And it seems cliche, but all it takes is one teacher just to take notice to one student, right?
If I think about my K-12 experience through extracurricular programs, it was something that really shaped my leadership experience and shaped my personality.
Formal learning and school, also all the activities that came with it. My life wouldn't be the same without that kind of trajectory.
I did not graduate due to bullying.
That's when it got really bad. From dead animals hanging in my locker. I was 16 and I dropped out of school.
I was bullied relentlessly in school. I learned very quickly how to defend myself. So when I saw other people being tormented, I always stepped in.
Dropping out was the hardest part for me because I had to walk away from my opportunities.
I think I missed my calling. I think that I would have been better as a police officer, but because I turned to criminality very young, I didn't have that opportunity.
I remember I got kicked out of school for fighting and started to go to jail. I have 15 years in jail.
I met a great teacher in grade 8. Mr. Miles built a relationship with me, and I can always remember a specific day where I had a choice to make. I was either going to go to school or I was going to go and do a break and enter. And then I thought, Mr. Miles, he'd have a big issue with that.
Within schools, we have to support kids. They may be acting out. We need to get behind that behavior and really understand why.
The bus is just right there, waiting for me to continue on with my education.
For me, public education is opportunity to teach, to learn, to care, and to connect.
Public education is so necessary for every child growing up. It's a right.
I think it's that common denominator that gives people the opportunity they wouldn't have otherwise.
Remembering the great teachers that helped me become who I am.
Public education is the reason that I'm able to sit here in front of y'all and say the things I'm able to say.
Learning collectively about a greater good, about our earth and society, and about how we work together to make it better.
More than ever, schools are bigger determinants of who we become and who we are. It's not just the things we learn, it's how we learn them.
Is it possible that we encourage students, even when you see they are not straight A students, get to understand what are they good at and how can we develop that?
Public education is a benefit to everyone if it's done right. Addressing the needs of children should be the most important aspect to education.
So whether if it's a bus ticket, if it's a meal before school, accessible, barrier-free public education is invaluable.
We have incredibly skilled and gifted educators who are expected to be everything to everybody. When they receive the support and they need, that's when you see them thrive and you see the children thrive even more.
The best thing that public education can do for kids is also teaching them how to learn. That's something that you continue to do your whole life.
And now I'm at the University of Winnipeg.
What are you teaching there?
I'm a student.
Oh, you're a student?
Public education is a chance at a better life, a chance to expand yourself, a chance to change the world. It's a chance.
It's vital to the role that you're going to play later on in life. You need to be able to count and to read before you could stand up and lead.
Stay in school. Stay in school.